Hi Pisces, I hope that you're all doing well. The first card that we have out for you is the Tower. You can feel like you are kind of caught up in a bit of a tornado and wanting to be put down. So I feel like you get caught in the middle of something and that your feeling can be like, let me go, put me down. I don't want to be part of this whirlwind anymore. And then I'm seeing the Ten of Swords. So I feel like that does happen. Like then the tornado's over. At the same time, having Tower and Ten of Swords can be like very abruptly, something stops. I am seeing the Devil. These are some intense energies. Okay, I'm seeing Seven of Pentacles. Who did I see this with? Members. On the members video that I released on February 4th, I saw some of this combination there. For those of you that are interested. Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of that same energy here. I'm also seeing too something similar to what I saw in the Capricorn reading as well. That will have come out the same day that, if you're watching this on the day that it comes out, a Capricorn video came out today as well. What date is that? Today is today is a different day than when it's going to be coming out. Today is the 4th of February, but this reading is going to be coming out on the 8th. So it will be a Capricorn reading that came out on the 8th. I'm seeing some similarities. Okay. So the Tower is connected with Queen of Cups. So I definitely say this is something that you can feel like is flipping you all around, and it can feel like a lot of stuff that's coming up emotionally, and it can feel difficult to stay on top of everything. I'm seeing on the Devil card, the Devil is holding something, and it reminds me of when an alarm goes off. You know how there are those lights that flash? I'm seeing a red light flashing here. So with Queen of Cups and Wheel of Fortune, I feel like you're being forced to show up and forced even to expand and adjust to what's going on. But this, I don't get this feeling like an easy thing, because I'm getting that it can be a very tumultuous time emotionally. And now, even though it feels like the main thrust of that is completed, I feel like where it leaves you is in some type of difficult spot. So even though you can know like the part where you're being thrown all over the place is technically finished, as far as like where you wash up on shore, you can be like, okay, well, now stuff is gonna have to happen from here. And there can be this feeling of knowing that things are gonna shift from this point forward. I'm seeing a doctor here, a doctor, a healer. I'm seeing the Devil, I'm seeing Three of Swords here, so. Also too, something that was making noise just stopped. It's like things become still again, and I feel like you're just left to look at something. And it's been something that you've been working with quite closely here. I feel an energy. Now with Seven of Pentacles connected with Ten of Wands, it's like this very stressful tending to the garden here. And you can just feel like the stuff that you have going on is very, very busy and very exhausting as well. To have the Devil and the Three of Swords, this can be something that you've been doing to maybe escape from how painful a situation is. Maybe just like trying to avoid dealing with this head on, but now I feel like something is here and you can't really be ignoring it. And I get that there's this feeling of like, attempting to work together. With the Tower and the Two of Cups, you can be, I'm hearing estranged. You can be going through something. I'm looking at Aries on the bottom of the deck. You can be going through something right now that feels like it's creating a lot of turmoil. I feel in a way though, like wherever you had been getting away from yourself, this is helping to bring you back, but it can be something that you don't totally want to be present to. Meaning if something's going on that's painful, maybe you've split off a bit from yourself here, being like, I don't want to be present to that because it hurts to be present to that. And this is like bringing you to come back around face to face with yourself here. And it can be something that you're like, I've been trying to get away from having to be in this place, because you can feel like it's just too much. You can feel like it's overwhelming, but you can also feel like the avoidance of this has become overwhelming. With Three of Pentacles and Seven of Pentacles, you can feel like this thing that you have currently that's going on, there's something that feels damaged here. And I feel too like it's in the aftermath of what's happened, you're left just looking at something. I feel like the branch of a tree that's just barely hanging on, like it's that limb has like almost been cut, but it's just like hanging there because that like last slice wasn't made yet, and you can be figuring out what to do with it at this point. Like, are you gonna try to tape it back up and hope that it like merges back together and hope that it heals, or is this something where you're just gonna cut it off completely? And having the Emperor on the bottom of the deck feels like you really want to think about this, what you want to be doing here. Like, is this something that you want to recover from? Is this something that you can recover from? Is this something that you're willing to recover from? What do you want to do here? Because I'm getting this feeling of like, I really feel like you can go either way with this, with the Wheel of Fortune, because it feels like, well, whatever was happening before, that clearly wasn't working, and so something's going to have to be done now, and it feels like you're either going to cut it off or you're going to try to mend it, but it's going to have to be one of those two options, because whatever it was that you were doing besides that, you can't do it anymore. Because I feel like you're being like forced into only one of these two choices that you have to make, and it's mend it, heal it, or cut it off. And that's what you get to work with here in this circumstance. So, what do you want to do? Is it worth it to you to be doing this? Maybe also to feel like something has been normalized, something has been being romanticized. Maybe there's a like, let me get lost in anywhere than the present moment. Because maybe it feels difficult just to be present to this. So there can be wanting to, I don't know, it can be like wanting to recreate something nostalgic, but it can feel almost like it's not actually doing that. And this is happening in avoidance of being present to what's going on. And maybe that's what's been happening. I feel too like there's ownership that you have over what's going to be happening. Like, you get to direct the energy and figure out what you want to do. I really do feel like it's your call here at the end of the day. Because you can feel like all of the coins just have exploded out of your hands, and you get to decide whether you're just going to leave them there on the ground and walk away, or you're going to pick them back up. So what are you going to do here with this? But either way, I feel like this is an extremely stressful time emotionally. It can feel extremely tense. It can feel extremely intense emotionally. And you can know too that you're going through something that is really getting to you now at this point. And also too, simultaneously, you have to decide what's going to be happening next. And within that, it can be something where I feel like you have to tap into this very strong part of yourself that's maybe been a little bit disconnected lately, and see if you can recover some of that energy to move through this in a way that you'd prefer to. I'm not saying this is a preferred situation that you're going through. I'm seeing something about getting like hit in the head here. I'm seeing that on the Tower card, like, and this can be a metaphor for something, like maybe something like smacks you on the back of the head here and you're like, wow, like maybe you're just going to be waking up a little bit in a way that you hadn't been before. because I do feel like your eyes are open to something that you weren't seeing before, and it can feel like kind of startling a bit here. But I also get to this recognition of like, oh, I've been doing that to avoid this. And I feel like it was maybe something that you weren't seeing before. And maybe also too, this started to get a little bit out of hand, Pisces. Maybe just a little bit here. So you have something that's going on, and I feel like it's like you've been like going through this tower. It's been intense, okay? It can feel like, as far as what's going on in your emotional world, there's been a big storm that's been going on. Now, the storm is coming to a close and you're washed up on the shore. And at that point, you get to decide this way or that way. But whatever it was that you were doing before, you can't do it anymore. With the Devil and the Three of Swords, I feel like however this was that you were escaping from this, or numbing it, or muting it, or like not having to deal with it, whatever that is, I feel like it's just there and you can't not see it. So you can't even pretend not to know. Because it could have been something where you were like, you know, if I don't think about it like that much, maybe it's something that I can like sort of pretend like it's not that bad, or like this is my way of coping with it or dealing with it. And I just feel like it's so obvious now. Like it even feels like a cliche looking at it. And it can be something where like you didn't realize it was like that, but now you do. And so having the Emperor on the bottom of the deck, I feel like this is a time where you have to step up. Ownership is needed, and your direct influence of what's going on in this situation, it feels like, okay, now this is your responsibility. There's no way to get around it anymore. And so you're being put in the driver's seat. It's like, I feel like this has been like moving away to not be in the driver's seat. Now you're being put in the driver's seat, and I feel like your guide's like slamming you down in the driver's seat and like putting 2 seat belts over you. You can't get out of it. And so now it's like, you're going to go right or you're going to go left here. But either way, you're in the driver's seat. And so I feel like it's one of those times where it's like you can't escape the ownership of this situation. You just have to figure out what you're going to be doing here. I feel like at the end of the day, this is going to be something that helps you come back together with yourself in a way that you had been severed. So at the end of the day, this is going to allow you to come home back to yourself. And this is the beginning of your life coming back together in your emotional landscape. This is the beginning of it. And so this is actually, looking back, you're going to see what a pivotal time this was. But right now it can be that moment where you just feel like, as I said before with the Tower, I feel like the universe in some way, like your guides in some way, have just like slapped you on the back of the head. And it's that moment where you're like, okay, well, now I do have to deal with this, and I have to figure out what I'm going to do. And so that's where it feels like we've been left with things at this point. But whatever it is, I'm seeing there's I got to deal with this now. And so that's what I'm seeing be like the place that we're left in. Okay. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.